Puss in Boots, A Clever Feline's Cunning Adventures. Once upon a time, in a quaint village, there lived a miller whose sole inheritance to his youngest son was an unassuming cat, Puss. Disappointed with his inheritance, the young lad didn't foresee the remarkable journey his clever cat would lead him on. Puss, an enterprising feline, sought to improve his master's fortune. Aware of his master's plight, Puss donned a pair of boots and set forth on a plan. He dashed into the forest, securing a bag of plump rabbits. Carrying his bounty, he approached the king's palace. Puss bowed before the king, declaring his master to be the mighty Marquis of Carabas, and explained that the rabbits were a gift for the king. The king, intrigued by the eloquent feline and impressed by the offerings, invited the so-called Marquis to his palace. Continuing his cunning strategy, Puss instructed his master to bathe in the river while he orchestrated the plan. As the king's entourage approached, Puss cried out that his master's clothes had been stolen. Promptly, the king's servants provided the Marquis with royal garments from the king's wardrobe. In the meantime, Puss raced ahead, meeting a group of peasants working in the field. He proclaimed that the lands they tilled belonged to the Marquis of Carabas and warned them to declare it as such when the king passed by. As the king's carriage drew near, Puss directed his master to affirm that the lands belonged to him, as advised. Astonished, the king inquired about the Marquis's property. The peasants corroborated, and the king was pleased to have such a wealthy nobleman in his kingdom. Intrigued by the Marquis's purported wealth, the king invited him and his entourage, including Puss, to join him for a splendid feast at the palace. Puss, keenly aware of the king's fondness for fine things, presented a grandiose plan to impress the king. He instructed his master to journey to a meadow he knew was frequented by an ogre who possessed an enchanted castle and vast riches. Puss cleverly engaged the ogre in conversation, persuading him that the king had proclaimed the land was to be taken over by the Marquis of Carabas. The ogre, intimidated, fled from his castle, leaving it and all his treasures in the Marquis's possession. Delighted by the grand castle and riches, the king bestowed the hand of his daughter in marriage to the noble Marquis. Puss's plan had succeeded, securing his master's fortune and happiness. As for Puss, he became the esteemed and pampered royal cat, reveling in his master's success and living a life of luxury for his ingenuity and resourcefulness. The end. Please subscribe my YouTube channel Teddy's Best Story Time. See you next time.